Hello artists, so today we are going to be making these Northern Lights drawings. So the Northern Lights are beautiful, colorful lights that dance up in the sky. These beautiful lights can be seen around the North or South Pole. For this, we will need a piece of black construction paper from our art kit, our crayons from our art kit, and we are going to pick out a white crayon. And now we are going to make tiny dots all around our piece of black paper, and this is going to be the stars in our sky. So we are going to make a bunch of tiny little dots until our entire piece of black paper is covered. And now we want to draw a straight line a little bit underneath the middle of our paper. Right about here is fine, and your line does not have to be perfectly straight. I'm going to put down my white crayon and pick out some light colored crayons. Here I have yellow, pink, and light green. You can pick out other colors that you might want to use too, but please make sure they are light colors because we need this to show up on the black construction paper. Now I have a piece of printer paper. You can use whatever paper you have lying around. And what we're going to do with this paper is we are going to be tearing it. I'm starting at the top of the paper and I'm tearing it all the way to the bottom of the paper. Your lines do not have to be straight. You can have a curvy edge on your paper, just like mine right here. It is not perfectly straight. So you are going to continue to rip strips starting from the top of your paper to the bottom. And again, they do not have to be straight. I'm making some curves in my strips. And I'm going to keep on doing this until all of my paper is in small strips. You can put your strips of paper to the side and pick one to start with. So now we are going to create the beautiful northern lights we see in these pictures. So my first strip of paper I'm going to place at the top of my drawing. And now I'm going to take my light green paper and I'm going to start to color. Notice how I'm starting to color on the white piece of paper and then coloring off onto the black piece of paper. Notice how I'm also using my left hand to hold the white piece of paper down. This is very important so the paper does not move when we are coloring it. So please make sure to hold that white piece of paper down with your hand. And now I'm going to keep coloring, starting from the white piece of paper onto the black piece of paper, all along the edge of the white piece of paper. We are not coloring on the middle of the white piece of paper, only the edge. And so I'm going to keep on doing this until I get to the end of my white strip of paper. And I'm making sure I'm still holding the white piece of paper so it does not move. Once you get to the end of the white piece of paper, you can finally lift your paper up and now we have this beautiful northern light in the sky. Now we're going to take another strip of white piece of paper and we are going to repeat the same process. You can place this piece of paper underneath the light we have just colored. So notice how it is right underneath that green light. Now I'm taking my pink crayon and I am repeating the same process. I have my hand holding my paper down and I am coloring starting with my pink crayon on the white piece of paper, coloring up to the black piece of paper. And again, I am coloring on the edge of my white piece of paper, and I'm going to keep on coloring until I get to the end of my paper. So here I'm going lightning speed. You do not have to color this fast. I just sped up my video, so this isn't such a long video. Still holding my white strip of paper with my hand, I want to keep it in place. I'm taking my white crayon and I'm coloring over the pink that we just colored. This will help to brighten the pink because the pink is not as bright as that green we used on top. Now taking another strip of white paper, I'm placing it a little bit below the pink and I'm using my yellow crayon and repeating the same steps. Now you can see my yellow crayon is not as bright as the green or pink, So once I finish this step, I'm going to go back over with the white crayon like we just did in the pink Northern Light. Again, I'm taking another strip of white paper, placing it under the yellow we just made, and I'm going back in with that light green crayon I used at the top. And I am repeating the same step, and I am making sure that I am holding the white strip of paper down with one hand and coloring starting from the white strip of paper up to the black piece of paper. Now with the last strip of paper I have, I'm going to place it underneath the green Northern Lights, and I'm using a light blue crayon. So again, this crayon is not as bright as the other colors, so once I am done with this, I'm going to go back over with my white crayon just to make this light blue a bit brighter so we can see it. And again, I'm holding down on my white strip of paper and coloring in an upward motion, starting on the white strip of paper up to the black piece of paper. And here I'm going in with my white crayon. And please remember, you do not have to do the same exact colors as me. You can use whatever colors you want. Please just make sure they are light colors. Now, taking our white crayon, we need to make our mountains. So we are going to just draw triangles on the line we drew on the bottom of the paper in the beginning. And you can draw your triangles however you want. You can make some big, some small, some triangles that have 2 points. Maybe you can draw even some hills, however you want to draw your mountains. And then we are going to color in our mountains with our white crayon. Now let's pause and talk about reflection. Reflection is when we see a picture shown back at us. So sometimes when we look in the mirror, we can see ourselves shown back in the mirror, which is our reflection. Or sometimes with water, we can see ourselves in the water. So we can see our reflections in the water sometimes too. In this picture, we can see the reflection of the mountains in the water and the northern lights in the water. So that is what we are going to do in our drawing. So I'm going to take my white crayon and I'm going to draw underneath the mountains we have just drawn, and I'm going to do almost like little scribbles. And this is going to be the reflection of the mountains in the water. Now we cannot forget our northern lights and the reflection of the northern lights in the water. So I'm just going to take the colors I use. So right now I'm taking the blue, and now I'm going to take the green crayon, and I am just scribbling that into our water. Now the yellow crayon, now the pink crayon, and I am scribbling this just almost in a line, and then the green crayon. And that is it, your finished Northern Lights drawing. I hope you enjoy this, and good luck, artists.